Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class, which is a recording in 1974 at Mayapur, class given by Srila Prabhupada. So that's the recording we're going to play this morning. Canto 1, Chapter 8, and Text 40. So we request that you kick up the volumes when you're listening devices. Sometimes the volume here is a little, on this recording, is a little lower. All right, without further ado, we'll start the class. Hare Krishna. Okay, here we go.
Translation. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects, because the herbs and grains are in abundance, the trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them.
Ime janapadas pridhya supakau sadivirudai supakai sadivirudha vanadri nadru dannanto jidanti tavabikkita. So, here is very nice description how we can materially become happy. These are all description of material happiness. Spridhya, very flourish cities and towns. So how it is flourished? Supakko sadivirudha. The herbs and plants and trees and creepers, they are all luxuriously grown and sufficiently supply the needs of the human being. Every plant and creeper is useful for human being. We do not know how to use them. Experienced men, they collect so many aushadhi. Bannaushadhilata loki jayati paramam hitam. We are neglecting these herbs and vegetables, but because we do not know how to use them, we have to meet so much bill of the doctors. But there are everything complete. Krishna's arrangement is very complete. Purnamidam Purnamada Purnat Purnamudachyat. Krishna has given us everything incomplete. There is no question. Although we have come to this material world for undergoing some tribulation on account of our rebellious attitude towards Krishna. Krishna, we are meant for serving Krishna, but we have rebelled. Why shall I serve Krishna? I shall serve my senses. I shall remain independent without Krishna. This is our folly. That is not possible. We have discussed already that without Krishna there is no question of happiness. There is no question of happiness. This is called ignorance. Krishna bhuliya ji anadi bohinmukh. Ataye maya daya sangsaradi duk. There is something like that. Our only fault is that we have forgotten Krishna and we have come to enjoy this material world. Material enjoyment means sense gratification. That is material world. And spiritual world means there is no sense gratification. Only activities for Krishna's satisfaction. That is spiritual. The so-called material world can be converted into spiritual world when this Krishna consciousness is there, that everything should be used for Krishna's pleasure. That is spiritual world. Otherwise it is material world. In the higher sense, there is no material world at all. Sarvam khalidam Brahma. Everything Krishna and Krishna's energy. So Krishna's energy is not different from Krishna. Just like the sunshine is not different from the sun. Although sun is millions and millions of miles away, still we can feel what is the sun by feeling the energy of the sun, the sunshine. We can understand the sun is complete heat and light. Although we cannot go to sun, but by the sunshine we can understand. Similarly, we can understand Krishna by his different energies. Parasya Shakti Vividhaiva Sriyat. He has got multi-energies. So these plants and creepers, they are also produced out of Krishna's energy, and we take advantage of them. So if we want to be happy, these things are required. What is that? Imi Janapada Spidda. Janapada, cities and towns, we require, because we are human beings, we cannot live in the forest. There are certain uncivilized human beings, they are meant for living in the forest because they are not civilized. But civilized men, they require nice towns, cities, full of gardens, parks, and nice roads and paths, nice building. They are all described in the Srimad Bhagavatam about the Dwarka city, Mathura city in those days. Still, there are some samples. In Mathura I will find that outside the city there are many gardens. The gardens, formerly the guests, kings and big men, when they become guests, these garden houses were meant for them. We get this information from many Vedic literature. So anyway, we should be eager to become happy even in the cities and towns with the help of these things. Aushadhi, Virudha, then forest, Adri, Nadi. Nadi means not dirty Nadi. Very clear water and waves are flowing. And by the modern civilization, I have seen so many rivers in Europe, in Paris, in Moscow, and in Germany. All rivers are very dirty. Very dirty. You cannot take bath, what to speak of drinking water. It's so dirty due to this rascal industry. Even in our New York, the bays and the seas, they are also polluted. All dirty things are there. How long the water will be clear? No. The rivers, at least the rivers in the city, they should be kept very clean. But they cannot keep clean because they have got so many dirty activities, enterprises, mills and factories. So in Calcutta also, there are so many jute mills and factories on the river side. All the night soil, they are thrown into the Ganges. So still the Ganges is so powerful that it keeps clear. Hundreds and thousands of people still they take bath in the Ganges and they keep very good health. Those who are taking bath regularly in the Ganges and cities and towns, there must be a river. In India you will find all the important cities in India, they are on the bank of the Ganges, on the bank of the Jamuna, on the bank of the Narmada, Krishna, Kaveri, like that. All the important cities. And Chanakya Pandit says that don't go to a town and city where there is no river and where there is no friend and there is no temple. Don't go to that city. If there is no river, no friend and no temple, then that is a great city, is a great forest. So that is forbidden. So we should be happy with these things. Cities and towns does not mean big slaughterhouse, cinema, brothel, and factories, and all dirty things. Here it is not mentioned. Here Kunti Devi says, Ime janapada spridhya supakko aushadhi virudha. She never said that these towns and cities are flourishing on account of having so many industries, slaughterhouse, brothels, cinema, clubs, night clubs, not like that. There is no such thing in those days. These are modern inventions to make the whole world hellish. Otherwise, people would be, if you want to be rich, then you can get riches. Where from? Bonadri, Nadi, Uddannato, from seas, from river, from hills. You can get valuable jewels, gems, pearls from these natural sources. So India's wealth, formerly, it was depending on these things: gold, silver, jewel, pearl, silk, not industry. And from the forest, from the herbs, from food grains, all natural product. So, from the river, the saintly person, they dependent mostly on the river side. Anywhere they will put a cottage on the river. Still, that is going on. A saintly person, if he wants to remain in a secluded place, so they select any place on the river side, have a small cottage. Still you will find in many places, especially on the bank of the Ganges, Narmada, Godavari, Kaveri, there are many saintly persons, especially on the bank of Jamuna and Ganges. If you go to Allahabad, you'll find they are living very peacefully in a small cottage on the bank of the Ganges. When Narad Muni made the hunter a disciple, so he dragged him to the riverside, Ganges, and gave him a tulsi plant that you sit down here and chant Hare Krishna mantra, and the tulsi plant is here, you offer obeisances. Then he was very much anxious because he was hunter. He has been stopped his main business, killing business. So he was thinking that my Guru Maharaj may not cheat me. He has stopped my business. He has broken my bows and arrows. And now he has dragged me here to sit down and chant Hare Krishna. Then he asked, what about my food, sir? I'll sit down here also. The Narad Muni assured him that don't bother, I'll send you your food. You sit down here, you chant, and I will send you your food. So he was a little doubtful. Anyway, this news, as soon as the news spread in the neighboring places, that a hunter has become a Vaishnava. So out of curiosity, people used to come to see the hunter Vaishnava. The hunter, when one is Vaishnava, he is no longer a hunter or belonging to any caste. But people used to say the hunter Vaishnava. So it is the custom of grihasthas that when a grihastha goes to see a saintly person, he should bring some gift. Never mind, however insignificant it is, at least one palmful of rice or dal or atta, put there. Give something. If one comes to the temple, here are many temples in India still. People come there with one who hasn't got many things, but he brings one palmful of atta or rice or dal. This is useful. And in the temple there are 3 pots. They put dal in the dal, atta in the atta, and rice in the rice. So in this way, the inmates of the temple, they can live without going outside. But people have lost such habit. They come empty-handed. Darshan. That I will not give you anything, but you are a saintly person, give me darshan and give me a Ashirvad, and then I enjoy my senses. That's all. Nothing to give you, but you give me your Ashirvad. You give me the dust of your feet. I become benefited. You starve. But that is not the person. So the hunter, he was following the instruction of his Guru Maharaj, Narad Muni, chanting Hare Krishna and sitting very peacefully, the people would come and they were supplying. So many people came, heaps of atta, heaps of rice, heaps of vegetables. So he became little agitated. What shall I do with so much quantity? Why he is sending so much? We are simply two, husband and wife. So why he is sending? So actually, for Vaishnava, who is dependent on Krishna, there is no one, there cannot be. Yogakshemam vahamaham tisam nityabhijuktanam. If one is actually dependent on Krishna, there is no question of scarcity. That is the Sukadeva Goswami's instruction. Kasmad bhajanti kavayu dhanadunmadandhan. He says to the saintly persons to become independent. So he advises that why you are anxious for bedding. There is very nice grass and you have got pillows, these hand, arms. You can lie down here and what is the necessity of keeping a water pot? Because the sannyasi, even giving up everything, he keeps one water pot. So Sukadeva Goswami criticizes, what is the use of keeping water pot? You have your pumps, you can take water from the river and drink. Chirani king pathina santi, and old cloth thrown away. Formerly, grihasthas in different ceremonies, after taking bath, they would throw away their garments there, so that poor people, they can take it and use it. New. Every religious function, in our childhood also you have seen, as soon as there was a new function or puja, there was new cloth. Even household puja, that takes place practically every month. Lakshmi puja, Kartik puja, Baro Mase Tarvo Patbon. Actually there are 12 months, but the festivals are 13. It was very difficult to adjust where the another festival in which month it should be observed. So we have got experience in Lakshmi Puja, all new cloth. The children, at least the children and the housewife will have new cloth for every function. And what was the price of cloth? Very cheap. 1 rupee, 4 annas, 1 rupee, 6 annas per pair. So we have seen it. So festival. But there was no scarcity. Why? People were religiously inclined. Even for a beggar, there was sufficient. The temple, sufficient, everything. That is called ime janapada spridhya, viddhi riddhi. When opulent, all the cities and towns were opulent, villages opulent, no want. And they depended on the trees, plants, this river, the mountain, the sea. Those who were their expert, they would go underneath this sea and pick up the pearls. That is very valuable. And still there are. So for rich man, the jewelries, the silk, nice food, nice building, and poor man also, if they do not require jewelries, but they are not hungry, everything was complete. So, human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gigantic industrial enterprises. This is the purpose. These gigantic enterprise, industrial, they are called ugrakarma. Ugrakarma. Just like now, New Delhi, there is industry. Every town has got industrial area, and big industries are flourishing, especially when you go from Vrindavan side to New Delhi. The first big industry we see, the Goodyear tire, very big factory. So people are being dragged there. They come here, you'll get good salary. Why you are working in the field so hard? Come here, you will get good salary. And so they go, but the result is that they are not happy. And when they are not happy, they are induced to take wine and meat. In this way, whole world, India, it was not there. Gandhi's movement was to stop this wine place, and as we are prohibiting. But at the present moment, the government is encouraging. It is very regrettable. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization. Godless civilization, they no more can depend on the natural gifts. They think by industrial enterprises they will get more money and they will be happy. And to remain satisfied with the food grains, vegetables and natural gifts, that is primitive idea. They say it is primitive. When men were not civilized, they would depend on nature. But when they are advanced in civilization, they must discover industrial enterprises. So instead of eating on metal dishes, the civilized man should eat on what is that called? Plastic. That's all. Now plastic utensils, not even metal. Still, according to Vedic civilization, these Hindus, they would not touch these china clay utensils or these plastic utensils, never. Or glass utensils, they will never touch. Especially in South India, they are very strict. A poor man would prefer to eat on the plantain leaf, and the rich man, they eat on silver utensils. They do not even like to, brass or other base metals. So this is very good economy also. If you have got metal utensils, if you are in need of money, you can get immediately in exchange some money. There are pawn shops, so they will keep anything, a good Banarasi sari or metal utensils or ornaments. If you need a village bankers, immediately. Poor man, suppose if you require 5 rupees, 10 rupees, you haven't got. But how to get the money? You take something from your household paraphernalia and go to the pawn maker, you get money. You are now relieved from the present anxiety. Then again you get back. But what is this? China clay, the China pots and this plastic pot will bring? No, nothing. From economic point of view, this is also very good. So depend on nature. So the more we go on increasing such troublesome industry to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction. That is practical. Of the people in general, although a few only can live lavishly by exploitation. So our Krishna consciousness movement is all round. If people understand that it is a religious movement, no, religious movement is different thing. Krishna consciousness movement, Krishna, it is not our manufactured ideas. Krishna speaks in the Bhagavad Gita to make people Krishna conscious. In every way, he is suggesting how to live, annad bhavanti bhutani, how the division of the society should be made. Chaturpannang maya sistam, gunakarma vibhavas. Everything, social, political, and political also, he is enthusing Arjuna, you must fight. They have committed so much injustice upon you, so you must fight. Don't consider that he is your brother, he is your... even when Arjuna said, yes, this is all right, I will fight with my enemies, but how can I kill Bhishma Dev? He is not my enemy, he is my maintainer, my grandfather. We lost our father at early age. He took care. How can I kill? How can I kill my teacher, Dronacharya? But Krishna supported that you must kill them. Why? Because they have taken the wrong side. Because Bhishma Dev, in spite of his becoming so learned, still he has gone to the side of the Duryodhana. And simply for matter of getting some money, maintenance. And actually Bhishma Dev went to the side of Duryodhana, considering that these people are maintaining me. How can I give up their company at times of danger? That is also another consideration. So similarly, Dronacharya, although his guru, teacher of military art, he also went to Duryodhana's side for money. Therefore, Karna, nobody came to this side. So Krishna was doing justice. That he was, this is politics, tit for tat. This is politics. Sate sarthang samachayat, Chanakya Pandit says. If somebody is shata means very cunning, so you should be also cunning. This is politics. He should not be at that time a Brahmana, liberal. No. So the idea is that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches everything very rightly, properly. The whole Vedic literature is meant for that, not one-sided. Now here he is speaking, Kunti is speaking to Krishna how to live, how by the association of Krishna people will be happy, how they shall live happily in the towns and cities. These things are described. So we should always remember that this Krishna consciousness movement is for all-round development of the human society, not a sentimental religious movement. If people take to this, and it is based on the teachings of Krishna and the teachings of Bhagavatam, everything is described there. So the more we grow, or grow strength rather, because we are now weak. Very people are not understanding the seriousness of this movement, but the more we grow in strength and volume, we should take part in all round activities of the human society to make them happy. Sarve sukhina bhavantu. This is the Vedic culture. The Vedic culture wants to see everyone is happy, and especially the Vaishnava. Vaishnava paradukha dukhi. Vaishnava has no unhappiness because he has got Krishna. Janglam dhya chaparang labhang mannati nadhikang tata. One who has got Krishna, where is unhappiness? And where is what? But he has nothing, such thing as unhappiness. But he is unhappy seeing others, these so-called rascals who have forgotten Krishna, they are unhappy. Vaishnava is unhappy seeing these people's unhappiness. Prahlad Maharaj life. Sochi tato vimugo chetas. I am thinking, I am lamenting only for these rascals who have forgotten you. And forgetting you, they are trying to become happy by so many ravish activities. Maya sukhaya bharamud bahato vimura. They want to be happy by inventing machine for saving also. You see, the attention is diverted that for saving they want machine, for brushing the teeth they want a machine. So that means the intelligence is being misused. Intelligence is being misused. Therefore, a Vaishnava duty is that even whatever they have discovered, that can be used for Krishna's service, and to teach them how to engage everything in Nidbandhi Krishna. Anasaktasya Vishayan Jatharam Upajan. Anasaktasya Vishayan Jatharam Upajan. Our policy is that we are using this microphone. It is not that if there is no microphone, we shall stop our speaking or preaching work. No. We have no attraction for this microphone. But when there is microphone, we take advantage for spreading Krishna consciousness. Anasakta, that is the formula given by Rupa Goswami. Anasaktasya vishayan jatharham upajunjata nirbandhi Krishna sambandha yukta vairagam uchyate. One may say that if you are condemning material civilization, why you are using? It does not mean that we are attached to it. But if there is some advantage for spreading Krishna consciousness, we can use it. We can use the modern invention, but we are not attached to that. It is not that without it we become collapse. No, that is not our policy. We can do with it and without it. When we use it, it is for the advantage of the person. His energy is being, who has invented this microphone, his energy is being utilized for Krishna's purpose. So, dovetail, everything dovetail in Krishna's service. So without Krishna we cannot be happy. That is the right conclusion. And that is stated here, that everything is flourished on account of your presence. And as we have repeatedly said, we can keep Krishna always present by Krishna consciousness. Then everything will be nice, we shall be happy, either in the town or in the forest, everywhere. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. devotees for listening, for coming to hear. Here's another lecture that has so much that we could learn from. This is the time, devotees, that we unmute ourselves and share realizations, ask questions, connect the dots spiritually, and basically just have some nice Krishna Katha. So whatever that came to you in terms of being important in your life or very, very significant, you can share that by just unmuting yourself. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisance.
Hare Krishna.
Very, of course, Prabhupada gives amazing lectures, very simple, very basic to the point. He doesn't go around the bush. He just says it for what it is, for this Kali Yuga mind. Many points Prabhupada mentioned, but I think one point that really stood out for me is how, over time, we have become so much lazy in our intelligence and looking for easy way out. Just that simple example he gave, about the utensils and the plates, and my mind started traveling in various aspects of our daily lifestyle. For example, if we look at the plates, yes, now, the thought of even using, plates on a regular basis, of course, at the homes we do, but just outside, we want something quick because we are lazy to take the extra effort to wash the plate. We just want to dump it. So I'm just seeing just in our daily activities, the mind is becoming more and more dull and less and lazy, is because we are using it so much in this advanced technology that we have stopped using our intelligence to think. Like I think a couple of weeks ago, I was in a training with two of my colleagues remotely in Bangladesh. And, and we were calculating the hours worked for an employee. And I try to avoid using the calculator because I know this calculator can make me so dull. And it's just simple, straight, like 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. with half an hour break. What's that? 7.5 hours, And this person, he's a young guy, probably in his 20s. He just took out the calculator. They didn't want to do simple math. So I was just thinking to myself, the more we depend on this technology, the more we're going to lose our simple math skills, So I was just thinking, wow, Kali Yuga is really progressing. And unfortunately and sadly, we are not aware that we are being sucked in to Kali Yuga. We are being sucked into it by our modern amenities, in the name of advanced technology, in the name of, I got this, sometimes we are so proud that we have the latest this, the latest that, the upgrade this, the upgrade that, but we forget to think, but that means we're becoming lazy in our intelligence and dull. So I was just really thinking that we have to be very, very careful, really, really careful. But yeah, just these thoughts were really making me think how we, and I think it goes back to simple living, higher thinking. That's what I think it's making us go back, that we have to think about going back is simple living, higher thinking, because, anyway, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, well, unfortunately, this is Kali Yuga. The way it's progressing or going on, things are getting more and more degraded. And in the lecture itself, Srila Prabhupada has described so many things. And you brought this other example about people not using their heads now. It's just every single thing that could be doing from memory, they want to pull out a calculator and figure it out. And I remember things that I was taught in school in arithmetic. We still remember how to do that. Long multiplication, long division. And I'm sure people in school now, if you tell them, you give them a number and say, work out, on pen and paper how to find the square root of a particular number, they won't be able to do it. I don't think they even teach that now, the steps. to
I
do
have
that.
to admit that I forgot how to do that. I
I
forgot
still
the
remember.
mathematical formula. It's been a long. I still do remember my long division and multiplication, though.
Hmm. Yeah, multiplication and long division, that's still there. But people say, oh, it doesn't matter. The calculator will just figure it out for us. And it does it in an instant, so why should we worry? Yeah, that making us more and more and more dull because the mind, if you don't keep it sharp, especially when you get older, you'll be a whole lot more forgetful. You will be forgetful to some extent when you get older, but you will be far more forgetful if you don't exercise the mind. Now, it started happening to me, and then I went back to memorizing some of the Shastra and stuff, and I found myself just improving. My doctor had warned me about it, that he told me that you stop teaching, you're going to begin to get forgetful because teaching, you have to memorize a lot of things. You don't use your notes so much. It just all comes out of memory right to the board as you're teaching. So yeah, that's there. But it's also a symptom of Kali Yuga, how things are going. They want to make us not use much of our mental faculties, physical faculties. Just push a button here and this will be done and that will be done. But the society is getting more and more and more dull. So this is also another thing. Even though it wasn't discussed directly by Srila Prabhupada here, it is also true.
You
So
know,
did mhm.
and another point that was hitting me is, now everything is AI, right? Even to take minutes from a meeting, they record, and it like I'm part of this group with some mothers, with some women on it's an ISKCON project that I'm in part of, with like I think 10 other women, for ISKCON GBC North America. And nowadays, when they have the meetings, they record, and it's on Zoom. They record the meeting, and then now I think Zoom has a feature or something that that they record the meeting and it becomes AI summary. I forgot what you call it. So then I realized that now people don't take minutes. They just record it on the Zoom, and then the Zoom feature, whatever it's called, that AI feature will turn that whole meeting into your notes. So I'm thinking, whoa, now there goes another level of dull and lack intelligence. Now we don't have to use our hands to take minutes. Now soon we're not going to be able to multitask. We'll just be only single, one file. And I said, Krishna, this is really Kali Yuga. Now we don't have to take minutes because the recording will convert it to AI. We don't have to take our notes because now, they have something called order. I don't know what it is. And I said, even they even teach that in universities, like you just use this app or some app and it'll record the minutes and you don't have to take notes. And I'm thinking, this world is going to make us stupid. It's very scary. It's really, really scary. But we think it's the easy way out. But no, we're making our minds very dull, both materially and spiritually. I think it happens on both levels, not just materially. I'm still used to taking notes. Like I take my notebook and I take notes. I don't know how to use all this. I'm not techie savvy. I think that's a blessing in disguise, I guess. But I'm not used to, doing that. But yeah, wow, it's really scary, Krishna.
That's the reality of how things are going. It's just the reality of how things are going. And in the Bhagavatam, they said that as time progresses in Kali Yuga, things are going to get worse. So you're just seeing evidence of it. And the more shocked you'll be, that won't change anything. It'll just keep going in a particular direction. I remember when I was in school teaching, I did in fact bring up some points to some of the students that will come to my office, for even the chat or just simply to get some help in chemistry. And I'll bring some social things, and you know what they tell me? They say, "Oh, Dr. Cardin, you just a little bit old-fashioned now." So that's what they tell me. So them, they accept it. That's the point I want to make. They accept it, and good or bad, they don't see that things are getting worse because they don't even know we're in Kali Yuga, much less know what's going to happen as time goes in Kali Yuga. But Srila Prabhupada has actually given the antidote for this, how to keep Krishna in the center so that we become happy. And he just said so nicely with examples, even on the material level. Hare Krishna. Damodar Prabhu, I saw you raise your hand. Please unmute yourself and you can join in the conversation.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my
Hare
humble
Krishna.
obeisances. All glories to
Hare Srila
Prabhupada, all this
Prabhupada.
to the devotees on the call.
Mm.
It was a very nice class. The discussion was very nice actually regarding how the machines today are making the mind dull or making the man dull. I think I was hearing from Radhanath Maharaj during this Kartik Yatra, the one that is going on, and his microphone wasn't working properly, and he then, like, when it started working, he was like, when Shukdev Goswami was speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, there were 80,000 devotees sitting over there. He was saying like, so it is 8 times the crowd that was sitting in the Kartik, that is sitting in the Kartik Yatra right now. So if we look at the Kartik Yatra crowd, we always feel like this is like ocean of devotees, and it was the sages in who Shukdev Goswami
Namaste.
was speaking is like 8 times that crowd. So
Yeah.
I was saying, like, they didn't need any microphone, they didn't need any speaker for uh, speaking the Bhagavatam at the place. Um, I think he said, or he quoted Prabhupada, I don't remember exactly, but he made a point that the machines that we are seeing today are the manifestations of the imperfections, or uh, what we can say, whatever dullness the man has, like that. That's what he said. Uh, that I got reminded about that point while when we were discussing. And the other point that I took from Prabhupada's class was, which always hits me, that Krishna consciousness is not just a sentimental movement or not a religious movement, not a Hindu movement, not like that. It is a scientific movement. It is a like a science which goes beyond, or which is beyond the perception of our minds. So that's what I understand. So,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Very. Thank you for your comments. Any other comments? We're not at the hour yet. We got about another 5 minutes.
Actually, Damodar made a very nice point, sharing the pastime, sharing the event that's happening right now with Radhanath Swami, like, it's 10,000 devotees right there, but during the sages of Naimisharanya, there were 80,000 and they all could hear every single word. And I was just having another realization that shows how much our hearing has drastically cut down to the point where, we choose to hear or not to hear. I don't know if I'm making sense, because 80,000 sages could hear every single word, but 10,000, not even the front line could hear what Maharaj was speaking. He needed a mic. So which means our hearing has really decreased. What to speak of the lazy and dull intelligence, what to speak of our eyesight, what to speak of our mouth, what we speak, what to speak of our senses. So, yeah, it's pretty
Those,
scary. It's pretty
those are
scary.
all signs of Kali Yuga, but we also have to remember in the same Kali Yuga, we have been given the opportunity to go back to Godhead after a short stay
Yes.
in this material world.
And we should definitely use it.
And the process that we have to embark on in order to go back to Godhead is also being simplified. We try to do Ashtanga Yoga alone, the hassle that we'll go through, but we don't have to do any of that now. So that's the advantage in Kali Yuga. Just, yes, things are falling apart, but to get out of it is also being made easier than the other ages. So this is why we need to take our Krishna consciousness activities even more seriously, because it's only going to get worse and worse and worse as time goes on, until Kalki Avatar comes and finally finishes up everything.
Yeah.
So that's the reality of the situation. Hare Krishna. But thank you for your comments. Yes, so many things are going downhill, but we don't see it. We think it was just being technology is making things more convenient for us, but actually our brains are being dulled at the same time. And that we need to, acknowledge. Any other comments?
Yeah, one last comment is whatever senses we have left, use it for Krishna's activities. So
That's
we can
what
get
Srila Prabhupada is saying, yeah. Put Krishna in the center of our lives, then we'll be happy and things will be successful. Any more comments? Let me share my takeaway. Srila Prabhupada was talking about the fact that even in the material world, everything is provided. Hmm? He even started with the herbs. There are herbs for curing. I remember Chanamaya Swami also had mentioned that in the in one of his comments in one of his lectures. Also, he said that there's everything. There's herb for dealing with every single disease here on this earth, but people don't even know what herbs they are, and they go to the allopathic people, the medical doctors, and the drugs that they're given have harmful side effects. And some of us that took chemistry, that we know about biochemistry and stuff, we know exactly what these pharmaceutical companies have done to the natural products. Some of it are not even natural at all. As soon as they find out what the structure is of that particular natural product that's isolated from its environment, then they try to make it artificially, cheaply. So it's all about making more money. So we're not living well. So everything is provided, but we do not know even the kinds of herbs. Remember in Girinagu, we went on an herb walk, and there was one particular Mataji who knew a lot about herbs, and they were all around us. They would point to it and say, this is blue vervain, this is bone set, this is this, all of these plants, flowers, and it tells what it does. You got a cold, you got a fever, you take this. So we started taking it. And some of them we learned, and then we started cultivating. It was going right around the land, and we could use it. And just put the leaves in hot water and then strain it, and there you go. We get better. So the herbs are all around us. We pay all these medical bills. We are meant for serving Krishna. That is our constitutional position. The material world, the Papa says, can be converted if we use everything to serve Krishna, even the material world. In the spiritual world, there's no sense gratification. There's just service to Krishna only. And let me add one point to it, that service to Krishna and no sense gratification does not mean that people are not enjoying themselves. They are very happy. The soul is Satchit Ananda. Ananda is bliss, which is the highest happiness. So service to Krishna gives far more happiness than anything that we can get trying to go through sense gratification route in the material world. So everything Srila Prabhupada says is Krishna or Krishna's energy. Give an example of sun has heat and light, so we can understand Krishna through this energy. Plants and creepers are also Krishna's energy. He said we should be eager to become happy even in the cities and towns. But right now, in Germany and a few other places, the rivers there, the water is heavily, heavily polluted. I know in Ghana now, people just going after gold. They've dug up the land and they very, very, very uncaringly, apathetically thrown a lot of the dirt, the clay into the rivers. And the rivers have now turned into a clay color. The people downstream that used to just use that for different things that they were cooking, they can't do that anymore. The people just after money, after they just coming and ruining the country's rivers, natural resources. So Chanaka Pandit says, don't go to a town where there's no river, no friends, and no temple. Good advice. No river, because the rivers are very, 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 very helpful to us in so many ways. So he says, without these, no river, no temple, and no friend, then the city is just a great forest. And of course, there shouldn't be slaughterhouses. And he made a note about how important the rivers are. He said the big cities in India are on the banks of the river. In Allahabad, people just living peacefully at the bank of the Ganges. Now, apart from other things that the rivers provide, what they also provide are riches: gold, silver, pearls, silk. Those all can be obtained through these natural resources. I remember one time my mother told me that where we are in Ghana, at that time it was called Gold Coast, the British called it that. When it rains, then of course there's high tide. The rivers, the banks extend a little further. Mm. And when the rain stops and the sun comes out, then we have low tide. Then, the rivers recede. They go back to the banks. It's gone further into the river itself. Mm. Now, the edge of that high tide, that means the extent which the river flowed to that end when there was rain, which is a high tide. Then the villagers, or the people, send their children with little buckets and they go to that edge and they pick up the sand, but the sand is mixed with gold dust. They just get gold just like that, just from a high tide, and then later on a low tide, and the end of the high tide, the edge of the riverbank, they could just pick up gold like that. So gold was just there, and it's from a river, just as the Prabhupada is talking about. This was in West Africa. So there was so much provided by the rivers, and even to give an example about Narada Muni made a hunter a devotee and dragged him to live next to the Ganges. Many of the cities are next to the rivers. In this particular situation, the hunter name is Mugari. Chipapa did not mention it, but this is Mugari the hunter. Narada had him go live in a small hut next to the Ganges, to the river. And his bow, he had to break it, so he had no means to live. But Narada told him not to worry, that he would be cared for. And what happened was when the people heard that the hunter had converted to a Vaishnava, they brought him lots of food. So much food, and now it was anxiety about how to, have all this with him and his wife only. So for Vaishnava, Srila Prabhupada is making the point, there's no want. We have to just live simply. So, and he gave another example about festivals in India. They would bring new cloths for decoration. And at the end, the poor people get the cloths. And even the cost of it was not so high. Even brand new ones was not so high. So, and then the experts can go under the river and pick up pearls. So all of these were supplied. So human prosperity can flourish by natural products and not these gigantic industrial enterprises. He said they are a godless civilization. People think that by industry they can get more money. But now it's got to the point where people, even as Antia was talking about, eating on plastic utensils. And people would eat on the silver plates at that time. And when there's financial hardship, then the plate could be silver, so it could be taken to the pawn shop and exchanged for money. And then they could just go on like that until things become better. So from industry, there will be unrest. But this is all in the modes of passion and ignorance. But Krishna has set up the proper way of government. Chaturvana Maya System Gunakama Vivagasa. System himself has set up the four orders of society: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And of course, when he went to this political part, Krishna was inducing Arjuna to fight and kill Bhishmadev and Dronacharya. Why? Because they were on the wrong side, just for money. Just like people now work in the industry just for money, for maintenance. So in politics, there's tit for tat. That does happen there. But in the Krishna consciousness movement, as we grow, we should just take part in all around development of human society. Now, that was one big takeaway. He said, as we grow, we should take part in all around development of human society. So slowly but surely, Vaishnavas can work their way into society in a more significant way, because we have mode of goodness as our regular life, and then we have also transcendence, which is Bhakti Yoga. So In the meantime, a Vaishnava can use modern invention to serve Krishna, but we're not attached to it. It says, we use a microphone, but we're not attached to it. As long as it helps us to serve Krishna in a more significant way, then yeah, we will use those things. Mm-hmm. But regularly, he said, in conclusion, without Krishna, we cannot be happy. Everything should be dovetailed for Krishna service. So Kunti Maharaj is saying everything flourishes because of the presence of Krishna. So keeping Krishna in the center, everything will be nice. And then we shall be happy regardless of where we live, in the city, town, or even in the forest, everywhere. So this is a very, 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 very important. This is 1840, Bhagavatam 1840 text in Mayapur. If you look up, you went to Papavani, and you want to hear it again, you certainly can. And this is also recorded on YouTube, so you can hear that there too. Hare Krishna. Any last comments or questions? We would like to thank all of you for coming. So have a nice Krishna conscious rest of your week. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sundibhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.